with such projects as contained within the town boundaries. That's the first part we're going to vote on. Then, if that passes, we're going to go on to, if such article passes, to allow discussions can and shall be allowed to bring forth options for determining methods of producing and implementing industrial wind power regulations, which shall be voted on at said meeting. So, may I have a motion for that article?
And move the article.
Move the article as read?
Second.
And we have a second. So now we're going to break it down and vote on just the first part. Shall the town discuss options and methods of producing and implementing regulations for industrial wind power projects and all associated infrastructure with such projects? Yeah, as contained within the town boundaries. That's what we're going to start with. Yes.
Is that a recommendation to say yes, we will discuss, or is it a recommendation to say no, we won't discuss? I'm not sure, because it doesn't say yes or no in the wording.
Shall the town discuss options and methods of producing and implementing regulations for industrial wind power projects?
So you're assuming that's a yes, that yes, we will discuss?
Yes, that's what I'm assuming. If you vote yes, if you vote for this, then we are going to go on to the rest of it. Yes. If you vote no, it's a new point, and we don't go on. Is that how legal interpreted it? Okay. Any other questions, comments, discussion? Yes.
Well, I do think this is important for discussion. We don't have to go drawing out all night long with it, but we did in fact have an ordinance that was written at one time. We in fact had a committee put it together. So the feeling back then is we needed something to regulate, protect. We have people on Common Road that are very nervous about these having come in, and they're a very big part of our community. So I think to keep this community together, we need to do something to protect ourselves against industrial wind turbines. And I hope you move this forward for a quick discussion. We can decide it within the next 10 minutes what we have to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Other discussion? Okay. Seeing none.
I have some
yes.
discussion.
Yeah, you should raise your hand.
I raised my hand. Currently, there's state law regulating this, right? Like DEP, is that right? I mean, I'm new to this. I really haven't been involved. I've been listening.
That's correct. There's an extensive permitting process through DEP that any wind project would have to go through.
So what we're looking at here tonight as citizens in this town is, do we just we can't override a rule or a law. We can't override a law, but we can implement it further, right?
Yeah, I guess what DEP says goes, and if you want to add to it or repeat what they say, I guess
it's just like shoreland zoning ordinances are regulated by DEP, but a town can come in and have an ordinance that can be stricter or something as long as it passes all the bylaws, right?
Right.
So guys, I'm just trying to understand. So DEP right now regulates wind towers. Is that
DEP does the regulation. Yes.
So do some towns not have ordinances and some towns do?
Woodstock, where there's a project going, does not have a wind ordinance. Carthage does not have a wind ordinance. Canton, as far as I know, doesn't have a wind ordinance. I think there's some other towns in the state that don't have wind ordinance.
And can you just help me out with, by having these wind towers come, I know right now we have 50 coming through the state sometime soon, and they can't come through Dixfield because of the bridge, but what are we going to gain from it? Like, what are we going to see as taxpayers by having them in our town versus saying we make our regulations so they can't come in our town?
On a taxpayers basis, we have, right now, our town's valued at around $150 million. The towers, the commercial wind farm could add potentially 60 to 70 million.
Point of order,
excuse me, I'm talking.
He's got the floor, sorry. He's got the floor, and then I have another question over there, and then I'll get back to you.
Well, he's opened this up to a
Out of order?
discussion.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
$155 million worth of value. This is gonna add, these towers could add $50–60 million, almost adding a third to our tax base. So anytime you do that, there's obviously gonna be a significant impact on your taxes. Significant lower, possibly lower.
And just to further my question, and then I'll be off the floor for tonight. If we go ahead and regulate, we're looking right now, I don't know, I guess people are looking, if we regulate, how long would it take for you guys to like regulate? To come up with when the regulation and ordinance would be written and stuff?
I guess it depends on how detailed and how technical you want the ordinance to be. To some extent, we have ordinance in town that will affect the wind tower. Shoreline zoning, if they come in through any protected areas, obviously shoreline zoning, the planning board will be involved. They have to get a building permit, and as some of you know, Calvin is very particular about safety when it comes to building permits. So the wind power company is going to have to face our code enforcement officer in terms of safety aspects. So whatever, if the town votes to add additional regulations, then that would be up to the committee and eventually, as I read the MMA guidance, it would have to come back to the town for a final vote. So I can't tell you what's going to be in that ordinance.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yes.
Just one point, this article 29 is kind of new because we're discussing it. So I'd like to make the amendment that we vote on.
You want to move the question? Vote yes or no right now? Yeah, you can do that. Had one person with his hand up over here, but we'll have to. Okay. All right. So is that a second?
Yep.
Okay. We're gonna vote on this first part, and if you vote yes, we're gonna go on to discuss this further. If you vote no, that pretty much that's the whole article. So all those in favor of discussing options and methods of producing it further. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Well, people are still raising their hands, so I'm going to ask for a count. It's going to be close again. Keep your hands up if you're in favor of discussing it further. You know what? I misstated that. We're voting to move the question, which is to go and not discuss it further. I'm sorry. If you do not want to discuss it further and just go and vote on that first sentence, raise your hand. The motion, I'm sorry, the motion on the floor right now is to move the question. If you vote for this, we're gonna go back and vote on the first half of this question. Okay? We're gonna end discussion and just go back and vote on this. You still don't understand?
No, what are we voting on? Just say what we're voting
Okay, we're voting to end discussion
about what?
on the first part of the question.
That is, shall the town discuss options? So if we vote no, then this is mute and we go home.
No, we're gonna keep talking about it.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay? So I'm sorry for the confusion.
Okay, very good.
Any other questions? Feel free, don't be bashful. Yes?
So this vote we're having right now, if we vote yes, then we're gonna continue to discuss the question.
No, if you vote yes, we're gonna end discussion and we're gonna go back and vote on that first sentence.
We're voting.
Okay?
I like that. Voting vote.
Okay? All those in favor of ending discussion and going to the vote? All those opposed? Motion carries. So now we are going to, now we're going to, and listen carefully and please ask questions and correct me if I misstate it, if I may. Now we are going to vote yes or no for that first sentence that goes up to the question mark. If you vote yes, then we're gonna go on to the second part of it. If you vote no, the second part is mute. Okay? Any questions on that? Don't be bashful. Yes?
So if we vote no, then wind power regulation will be at the mercy of the state's regulation. And if we vote yes, we get to further define what would be in our community. That's
Correct.
Yes.
Does this article refer strictly to discussions this evening, or does it limit our ability to discuss these issues at a future date?
I understand, I'm not a lawyer, but I suspect you could do that. This doesn't, hold you to anything that might,
What's the
initiative that might come up later.
Because if I read this right, it says, if we vote yes, then the next part says, we will discuss and vote at this meeting what the regulations are gonna be.
No, what we're gonna do is we would go to determining methods. Determining methods are the two key words.
So like we could have a committee that got together to do regulation on wind power, that worked with the select people.
Yes. Other questions, comments?
Yeah, how are we gonna raise it? Volunteers or?
Well, we'll talk about that if this passes, okay? I'm sorry. Yeah.
Pat has a question.
If you vote, if the vote is yes, we will go on to talk about that more tonight. Yes?
Didn't we just vote to end discussion?
Good point. Good point, thank you. Well, what I'm allowing right now is just if you understand what you're voting on. Okay.
So now, if we vote yes, we're gonna we're gonna go on to discuss the issue.
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
If you vote yes now, we're gonna keep going with this, yeah? Any other questions? Okay. If you vote yes, we're gonna continue discussion to the second part of this citizen's petition. If you vote no, it's all over, so. All those in favor of that first sentence, raise your hand. You have a count? All those opposed? Okay, so that fails.
I'd like to call for a revote.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I counted the first hand. I'm sorry, Frank.
Okay,
Yeah.
can we have a revote?
Yeah, I agree.
All those in favor?
You can only vote one.
All those in favor? This is to continue discussion tonight. All those opposed? Noes, 25 yes. Okay, so the motion, that fails.